It's time to get back to scouting future Dallas Cowboys here at Cowboys First. As the editor-in-chief of the College Football America Yearbook, I find myself on the sidelines of major college football games practically every weekend. So I get to see players that could be helpful to the Cowboys up close. For the next few months I'm going to put that work to good use and try and profile some of these players. I'm not a scout and I don't pretend to be. I'm not a well-schooled personnel guy like Brian Broaddus at 105.3 The Fan. I'm going to tell you what I saw that day and where I think the player could be useful. This weekend I'm going to look at a player who will be at the NFL Scouting Combine next weekend. DB Montre Hartage, 6 foot, 195 pounds, Northwestern. My first game of the 2018 season was in West Lafayette, Indiana, as Purdue hosted Northwestern in a Big Ten opener for both teams. That night I had the opportunity to watch Hartage play, and as it turned out he developed into one of the best cover corners in the Big Ten in 2018. I also caught one of his best games of the season, as he netted 6 tackles, a pass breakup and an interception. We'll take a look at his interception in the second quarter and his touchdown-saving tackle in the third quarter. This was a good example of how a solid pass rush can force quarterbacks into bad decisions. In the shotgun formation, Purdue quarterback Elijah Sindelar drops back and starts rolling to his right. Hartage is at the top of the screen and in single coverage. Northwestern rushed 4 in this case, and as the play develops, Sindelar has difficulty finding an open receiver downfield. Hartage falls out of the screen, but he's staying with his receiver, and that's key considering what happens next. Sindelar pump fakes, or can't find an open receiver, and finds himself under duress and makes a hurried throw across the field. When Hartage pops into the screen he's in prime position for the interception. Hartage never gave up on the play, even as the football moved to the other side of the field. Early in the third quarter Hartage was responsible for a touchdown-saving tackle in the open field. Hartage, again, is at the top of the screen, set about 5 yards off the receiver. As the play develops Hartage finds himself stuck behind a Purdue receiver as the pass catcher on this play receives the ball around the Northwestern 5. Hartage slips behind the receiver he's covering to put himself in position to make the tackle. Hartage gets himself in position to make the tackle and hangs on to force the receiver out of bounds. It may not have been the prettiest tackle, but it's a good example of Hartage getting the job done even if he's not in the best position. Hartage was a productive 4-year player for the Wildcats, netting at least 40 tackles in each of his final 3 seasons and ending up with 10 career interceptions. In addition, Hartage defended at least 10 passes in each of his final 3 seasons in Evanston. It culminated in all Big Ten first-team honors his senior year. So where might he fit in with the Cowboys? That night in West Lafayette I saw a player who can make plays on the ball, doesn't get out of position often and has good instincts. Any NFL team can always use a player like that. The Cowboys increasingly used 5 defensive back sets last season. Some of that was due to the injury to linebacker Sean Lee. Some of that was due to the higher use of offensive sets that require 5 defensive backs on the field. Hartage has skills the Cowboys can use, and his draft value right now means the Cowboys wouldn't have to spend much. Some rate him as a 7th-round pick or even an undrafted free agent. But the NFL Scouting Combine is next weekend and Hartage is an attendee, so there's a great opportunity for him to improve his stock, with the Cowboys in attendance. If you need reassurance that a player like Hartage can become something in the NFL, consider that Cowboys starting safety Jeff Heath started his career as an undrafted free agent. Based on what I saw that night, I think Hartage has plenty of room to grow, and a defensive backs coach like Chris Richard could accelerate that development. Previous Scouting Cowboys pieces. First, in case you missed it, here's my piece on Texas defensive lineman Charles Omenihu. My next. This time it's I explain in my most recent First and 10 piece at 247 Sports at Fish Sports at Alan Bell 247. This week Mike Fisher is reporting that the strategy within the Star in Frisco has begun, in terms of how the Cowboys might approach acquiring Thomas in free agency. Source: I think we all know that. The question is how much the Cowboys are willing to play and whether Thomas is willing to take it. So stay tuned. Tank and the tag. Let's clear something up. The franchise tag window opened this week. Some folks kinda panicked when the Cowboys didn't tender DeMarcus Lawrence deal. The Cowboys don't actually have to tag Lawrence until early March, and they really would rather work at a long-term deal. So would Lawrence, who played on the franchise tag last year. Mike Fisher digs into the Cowboys' thinking, specifically that of Jerry Jones, who earlier this week said the team had a lot of work to do. Tank talk. Jerry says no anger is. In fact, the Cowboys have been done with Irving for a while now, as Fisher reported then. Why? Well, read the story below. Fish lays out the myriad of issues that have made Irving, in the Cowboys' estimation, unemployable. He isn't coming back, folks. Just let it go. The Cowboys have. They received a compensatory pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. Here's the lowdown. https://t.co/4usway4zi. Mike Fisher, at Fish Sports, February 22, 2019. Romo is gonna play some golf. That's not breaking news. This was earlier this week. Dallas Cowboys legend and CBS broadcaster Tony Romo will be joining Jordan Spieth in 2018. Well, that guarantees some serious ticket sales for at least the first 2 days of the tournament. Romo on Football for his kids. Whenever Tony Romo opens his mouth about anything, it's going to be news. Consider Troy Aikman. Once he became a commentator, he became an in-demand interview, not that he wasn't when he was Cowboys quarterback. But Aikman has been much more willing to speak his mind in his post-football life. The same appears to be true for Romo. Earlier this week, Romo talked with Dr. Phil about whether he would let his 3 kids play football. Romo's response is certainly worth a read. Will X. The last word. Jerry Jones is looking at Kellen Moore and saying that's our next head coach for the Dallas Cowboys if Jason Garrett doesn't win enough games. At markdominantfulpick.twitter.com/b6evork. Fox Sports. At Fox Sports, February 21, 2019. And then Fox Sports goes and blows it with this. Want to talk Cowboys? Head for the Cowboys247.com message boards or hit up Postfans on Twitter at @Postfans Postcard or Mike Fisher on Twitter at Fish Sports.